Hey, 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 y'all. Okay, my friends, let's be honest. Let's have a moment and be real. Have you ever thought tech is not my jam? Technology just gives me a headache, or I just don't understand how all these algorithms, SEO, and all of that work for my studio. Because here's the thing, what I know to be true is that there's so much information out there. And sometimes this whole SEO thing, it gets pushed to the back burner until we have time to figure it out, right? And with things changing and moving the way that they are, it can seem like it's a never ending hurdle that we have to jump over. And so on this week's episode, me and my guest, Adam, we're going to be diving into what the heck is SEO anyway? And why do I need to know about it? And also, we're going to really talk about the top 3 mistakes that we see studio owners making when it comes to their own SEO. So if you're joining us, say, hey, Aaron, what's up? Let me know that you're here. I always want to know who is with me when we come on live every single week. And remember, if you come back in on the replay, I want to know that as well. We will continue the conversation, so drop just a hashtag replay, and we will go ahead and come back and continue the conversation with you. So, hello there. Good morning. Hey, 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 my friend. Good morning. I love seeing y'all this morning. It's so good to see you. And so, my friends, let's be honest. Let's take a little bit of a poll here. When it comes to technology, SEO, algorithms, how do you feel? Do you feel like, yeah, that's my jam, or heck, no? Good morning. Good morning to you. Yeah, exactly. So, like for me, I want to say that technology is not my jam. Now, I get by. I know enough to, I guess be dangerous. I guess you could say, but it is definitely not my area of expertise. It is not my wheelhouse, and that is why I have people who support me with it. But but my friends, let me know, how do you feel about SEO? Do you feel like it's you got to nail down, or is it like somewhere in the middle? Yeah, somewhere in the middle. Um, you feel like, okay, I know a little bit, but maybe not all the things. And here's the thing, it's hard to know all the things, if we're being honest, because they do change so often. No way, struggle a lot with technology. Guess I'm showing my age. Okay, first of all, it's not your age. Let's not use that. But what I will tell you is that for all of us, I think that sometimes we look at it and we're like, I just want to dance. I just want to make beautiful, creative choreography. I just want to love on these kids and make an impact. And so technology, I'll rely on my younger staff to go ahead and help me with that. But we're going to dive in today on the 3 things that we see happen quite frequently, which could hinder you when it comes to your SEO and really leveraging what it can do for you. So we're gonna dive into that now, my friends. If you would like to get a copy of today's show notes, drop the word SEO below, and we will make sure to get you a copy of today's show notes. So make sure you drop that SEO below. Now, if you've stumbled upon us here somehow, I'm so excited that you're here with us. I'm Erin Bird. I am your hostess with the mostest, and I work with studio owners and educators to really grow their businesses without all the overwhelm, the burnout, the sacrificing your personal life. Because the truth is, you get to create your own unique vision of success. And my job is to help you get there in the quickest fashion possible. Now, my friends, before we dive in and have Adam come on in, I want to remind you that the doors to the Studio Accelerator Bootcamp are officially open. We will be starting on February 27th. And this is for you if you want to not only grow your studio, no costume, no problem. You could still enroll. Um, right now, even today, even with the recital, we're going to dive into that. We are going to dive into some business foundations and marketing, and really looking at long-term strategy when it comes to the growth of your studio and your business. All right, my friends. So If you don't know Adam, let me tell you a little bit about Adam. Adam, he's been in the web, SEO, and marketing industry for over 20 years. He has a total passion for helping dance studios around the world to really build and enhance their online presence. He has this passion for this. He loves the techie stuff, y'all. But what I can also say is that he also owns a children's dance program called Little Beats, and so it really has helped him take his passion and his love for this tech stuff, for website marketing, all that, and really have the true understanding of our industry. And so I think that the marriage of the two is such a beautiful thing, and he has so much information for us to share. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in, and we are just going to really get this party started because, like I said, there's a lot to be said. Hey, Adam, how are you?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm great. We were talking about there's limiting it to three things that we
Yeah,
can
very
happen
hard.
is really tricky, but we also wanted to talk about like the three things that were like, ooh, sometimes we don't think of those and those little nuggets. And so I want to just go ahead and kind of dive right in, right? To
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
let's start with the whole idea. My friends, let's kind of get a little pulse on things. First of all, does everybody know what SEO stands for? And if not, that is okay. This is a safe place. We are here to learn. It is okay to share with us. I don't even really know what the heck that is, right? So, Adam, do you want to go ahead and explain just what it stands for and what it, as a roundabout, SEO is all about?
Yeah, of course. So, luckily, I do know what it means. It's search engine optimization, and in essence, it's the process that you use to get a website, a blog, anything online, basically, even things like YouTube, online and found on the search engines. The primary one being Google, because that's the highest rated search engine, and that's what everyone uses.
Yes. Yes, awesome. Okay, so I see some friends are coming in saying yes, they do. So that makes my heart so happy to hear. I'm like, okay, we know what it is. That's the foundation. Now, let's dive into like what is let's dive into the three. So,
Yeah.
what is one
Okay.
of the things that you see when it comes to SEO that studio owners kind of across the board are
Mm.
missing or making a mistake with?
Yeah, sure. Well, again, it was hard for me to narrow this down to just three. It really, really was. But I was thinking outside the box, and I was thinking of things that people really don't think about when it comes to SEO. I think the people that do know a little bit about SEO, they'll normally go to content, title tags, meta descriptions, and again, I wanted people to think outside the box and not necessarily think about what things are just standard. So the first one on the list is site speed. So this is something that's very, very important. Twofold, not only for the ranking element of it on search engines, but it's also very important as well to actually retain users on your website. If your website is slow, people will click off it. You do it yourselves, everyone can admit to that. The bounce rate on your website will be high. So this is one of the ranking factors. And before, when I say ranking factors, this everything about SEO is all a bit of a guesswork from all us SEO geeks, because Google won't announce what they're exactly doing. It's all of us trying and then failing sometimes and succeeding in others. But speed is one of them, and it's one of their ranking factors that they use when it comes to speed. Now, the overall thing about Google and all the search engines really is they want to give the best experience to their users, which you can completely understand. Hence why they've started bringing in things for several years now, things like Google My Places, and really sort of enhancing that, because they want you to search and then get the website, which gives you the direct results. They don't want you to go to a website and then have to find another website. So speed being one of the elements of it, they want you to have a very good experience when you're on that website, and speed is one of those.
Mhm. So, do you find, is there certain things, I mean, to dive into it, that might slow or drag your speed of your website down?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So, and this will depend on your website. I'll tell you a couple of tricks to speed up your website, regardless of where it is. So, the first one being is obviously your images and your videos. Now, that is the biggest thing that's going to slow your website down. So, before you put any image on a website, you want to go to a website called tinyjpeg.com. And I can put it into here if I have the ability to be able to do that. If not, it's just tinyjpg.com. You can put an image on there. It's completely free service, and you can put up to 20 images, and it will shrink an image down from several meg to just kilobytes, and it'll do it with any image. So it's really important that, because I know some pieces of software will compress your images for you, but quite a lot of them don't, and they don't compress them as much as what you'd like, and you don't lose any image quality while doing this as well. So it's very important you do that. On the video side of things, there is pieces of software that can actually downgrade your video as well without losing quality. However, I would always say upload it to YouTube. Because YouTube has the best servers in the world, apart from Netflix. And if you just embed your video into your website, it's not loading from your website, it's loading from YouTube server. You get the bonus of that, but also you're obviously getting the bonus of it being on YouTube, which is also extra SEO. So there's a couple of tricks there, depending again on where your website is. If it's in WordPress or a similar piece of software like that, you want to be using caching plugins, which what they do is they cache all of your images, your text, your information on your website, so that when you go to the website, it's loaded in half the amount of speed. Caching basically just takes it into local storage rather than it loading directly from the server, and it's a lot quicker, and your load speeds are a lot faster. So a couple of techniques there that will certainly help with the speed of your website.
Okay, awesome. So my friends, if right now you're feeling like this is already a little overwhelming, it's okay. It's okay. That's where you need to drop SEO below, and we'll make sure to get you the notes, and then you can go through and kind of dissect these when you're looking at your own website. And then of course we're here to support you. But I know that when you start talking about, okay, go and do this and compress and caching, right? That sometimes that may be like, so much. But know that all of these little things, they don't have to be overwhelming tasks. I know they might seem scary, but there are amazing softwares now that do these sort of things for us, and apps and things that help us. And so, but by placing all these, they're little pieces of the puzzle, right? They're just the little pieces of the puzzle that will drag things down. And let's have an honesty moment. Let's be real here. When is the last time you actually reviewed and revamped your website? And I know I asked this a couple weeks ago, and someone's like, "Oh, I just did it." So that makes my heart happy to hear. But when's the last time that you actually went in, reviewed, revamped, or updated your website? We want to know, or I want to know personally. Adam probably wants to know too, but I want to know for sure. All right. So, my friends, drop the word SEO if you want the show notes for today. Okay. Once a month. Can we celebrate? Hold on. We need to celebrate. Once a month, you're going and reviewing and revamping.
Hey.
We're happy. That makes my heart
well
happy.
done. Well done for that. Definitely.
Yes. You get the hand clappers for sure. All right. So, what's the next thing that you see kind of as a problem in our industry when it comes to SEO?
Okay, so this one comes down to, I get asked this question a lot, and to be fair, it's a repetitive thing, which you might think to yourself, but you probably don't think of it in this way. So I know a lot of you don't have one fixed location for your business. Quite a lot of you are either mobile, or you have several locations in which you teach. And the common question that I get is, how do I focus on an area? How do I SEO when I'm in several locations? So this little tip is basically just to think about this in more detail. So what I tend to get, and I apologize because obviously I'm a foreigner from the UK, so I don't know the USA like I do the UK. However, we have over in the UK, probably similar to yourself, we have counties, and then we have towns within them counties.
Exactly.
So Yeah. So one big mistake that people make though is that they think, right, well, they're in 4 little towns within a county. Rather than trying to focus on them towns, they try and focus on the county, which is a big, big issue. And the reason for that is no one will search for a county. You always search locally. Hence why we've got the services like Google Local. Right. So because of that, people are putting in a county trying to get found because they have all these individual places when it's a completely wrong thing to do. So I understand that you can't fit in all of these towns within one page. You know, we have a character limit per page on your title, your meta description, and obviously you cannot spam your content. So I understand that. But rather than doing that, I would much rather you add another page and speak about that town. There's a whole other subject of how to do this, which I won't go into today. But just the tip is to think more locally when you're targeting your keywords. Don't try and cram them in there because you cover a bigger area. Try and fit them into other pages because it doesn't matter that they're all in one page. You've got a big website, so let's use it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think so many times when we have multiple locations or if you're mobile and you're serving different, for us, we have 4 counties that we
Wow.
serve and many
Wow.
a town within them. And so it could be this idea of, okay, yeah, we serve Fresno County, Kern County, Kings County, Madera County, right? But the truth of the matter is that, like you said, as a parent, as someone searching, I'm not like dance classes in Fresno County. That's not what I'm going to look for, right? I'm going to say dance classes in Clovis, California, because that is what is closest to me. And so I think this does happen quite a bit. Or on the flip side, even if you have one brick and mortar location, but you might live in an area that's maybe a little more rural or something, and you're pulling in from different areas, that the thought process is, oh yeah, I serve this county.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not what people are really looking for when they're searching. They're looking for at what specific. So I love that that tip, because I think that it's so important for us to really narrow it down. And it's like you said, it's okay to have more pages. It's okay to speak to that one particular audience. And this is about you and your community. Because here's the thing. Now, no hate, but I'm going to say, here where I live in Clovis, the neighboring town is Fresno. Most Clovis moms would not look for lessons in Fresno. It might only be 15, 20 minutes away, but they are not looking for it, because if you look at our demographics and our culture versus this other town that's right next to it, it is very different, right? So we have to really narrow down and speak. I talk about this a lot, whether it's social media, whatever, we're speaking to one person, one demographic. And so if you say to the county, it is not speaking to anyone, actually.
Definitely.
You have to speak to
100%.
Yeah. Okay. So that one was awesome. Okay, what's the third one? What is the third thing that we listed? I'm like, we could go on and on and on, but we want to keep this quick for you guys, not overwhelming. So what is the third thing that you see happen too often, which is a mistake for our studio owners?
Okay, so this technique as well is also really good for your website, not just your SEO. And the third and the last technique is all about being mobile first. Now, a couple of years ago, Google made this big change into becoming a mobile first platform. And in essence, this just basically means that it will rank your a mobile version. Hey, there we go, straight away. It will rank a mobile version of your website higher than anything. So if you've got a really nice desktop website, but you haven't optimized that for a mobile, you will fall all the way down the rankings. And guess what? 90% and even more in some cases, depending on the category, use a mobile to search for your website. So they'll be looking at on a mobile. So this is really important, that when you are thinking about putting a website together or how you structure the website, don't be checking it on your desktop, be checking it on your mobile. If you're scrolling and scrolling through content, through big images, it is not optimized properly for a mobile, and Google will rank you against that. So it's really important. It's a very good SEO technique, that. So make it better for a mobile, and you will definitely see your rankings enhanced.
That's awesome, because it's so true, y'all. Let's be honest, like, we all live with these guys. Right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
and we do. That's when we're searching stuff, and 9 times out of 10, it is going to be on our phone. It is going to be on a tablet. It's going to be, right? I mean, but primarily this guy, this guy right here, right? So we have to really think about it in that sort of terms. So if I were, let's know, if you were to go to your website right now on my phone, what would I see? Right? And it's, it's not one of those things where we want to make you feel bad about anything, but it's just sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And we figure something out here on desktop, but you still have another step. And as technology advances and becomes more and more and more advanced, we have to really lean into the idea that we have to be willing to change, or we have to be willing to go away. And I know that might sound not very nice and mean or whatever, but the truth of the matter is that things are changing, things are evolving. And yes, are there some things that worked for us 20 years ago as far as maybe marketing or whatever that still are applicable today? Absolutely. But if you are not willing to look at, okay, how are things evolving? How are we getting in front of trends? How are we making sure that we are keeping our presence and our visibility up? Then you are either going to stay stagnant, and or people are going to start to leave, right? People are going to age out, and you're not going to refill your enrollment. And so we have to. So many times I think we were talking about, people are like, oh, SEO, I'll get to it. It's on the back burner. Or I don't understand it. Or, right? Like those sort of things. And we do. We have, as studio owners, business owners, we have a million things on our to-do list. And so sometimes if it doesn't feel like it's in our wheelhouse, or we don't know or believe we're going to see immediate return from it, we push it to the side. And what do you think SEO plays in your overall marketing strategy or enrollment strategy for dance studio owners?
Yeah. Myself, yeah, definitely. Do you know what? As you know, I'm a geek, so I love looking at stats. Absolutely love looking at them. I like being able to take stats and then actually make them increase one way or another, decrease bounce rates so that obviously more people stay on the website. But you would be absolutely shocked at the amount of visitors you can get to your website. You would be shocked. And I get this all the time where they sort of say to me, well, I don't get many inquiries from my website. And it's just because it's not optimized correctly. It's not optimized correctly, not just from an SEO point of view, so you're not getting the traffic in the first place, but it's not optimized from a customer journey point of view. So they don't know how to actually do that. But I always say, and I love this little thing, and I always say, look, go and find someone that doesn't know anything about your business and tell them not only to go on Google and find you and what they would search for you, not using the company name, but then when they are there, if they can find it, get them to see how long it takes them to actually get through to where they need to and book for their child. And it's a very good experiment, because 9 times out of 10 they come back and say they can't even find them, or they don't know how to book. And it's that shouldn't happen. Obviously, it should be very clear for both sides.
Absolutely. I have a little saying over here that I'm sure if the people who have been here for a while and followed, I believe in facts over feelings.
Yeah, so, absolutely. 100%. Right? I like that. And I'm taking that.
Yeah, I mean, 1000%, because here's the thing, when it comes to facts, data, statistics, math, right? Now, I'm not saying throw all your feelings out the window, because we have to feel a certain way about things. But really, are they a factor? Is it a feeling? Are we telling ourselves that Google and SEO and all that stuff doesn't matter because it's not working for you because it's not done right? Or is it a fact because you've looked at the data and you know how to read the statistics, right? Okay, so there was a comment that said, I get viewers from all over. Do you, to one blog post they wrote 4 years ago because you optimized it right. So that is a huge point, right? Adam and I were talking. Adam, what's the number one thing for you on yours?
Yeah, I was literally just saying this before, is that you know, we have page, like, obviously, you know, I run a company doing this, so we have SEO all throughout the website, and we have hidden pages and all things. But the number one page that drives the most traffic is a blog that we wrote, again, several years ago, about popping and locking, believe it or not. And just because it ranks on page one of Google, it's searched for hundreds of times per month. So there's loads of new unique visitors coming. And I know, again, it's not relative sometimes to some businesses that are more localized, but there's no reason why you can't make your blog localized. You know, just because we're talking about popping and locking, if you add your towns in there, into that, people that are searching for that more localized will find you as well. It just so happens that obviously, you know, we work worldwide, so it works for us, but it's such a useful resource. And like you said there, it's something that drives traffic for years and years and years to come.
So, my friends, I'm feeling very giving today. Do you want to know a super tip around that? Let me know.
Ooh.
Because I am going to get ready to share. When you're talking about that, a lot of times people say blogs, how do I write blogs, or how do I have content that's applicable to me, like to get these sort of views? Because, you know, we're a dance studio. What do I need to write about, right? And so one of the things that I do inside the Studio Accelerator, they're like, yeah. One of the things we do inside the Studio Accelerator Bootcamp is we talk about organic social media, organic marketing, and blogs and guides and things of that nature are absolutely amazing ways for you to increase your views to your website. And we have a whole thing that we talk about creating local guides that are family-friendly activities in your area certain times a year that are free opt-ins, that are free, but they're a traffic driver to your website for people in your specific community who have children. So, I mean, there's easy ways to do it. They don't take a lot, but the traffic that you get is part of your visibility plan, right? And so we have to have a bigger visibility plan, and SEO is a piece of it, right? These touch points, these opt-ins, people coming in, and traffic to your website is a piece of it. Social media, it's a big puzzle, y'all. And it's all these different little pieces that we have to put together if we really want to be known as the go-to studio in your community, right? So we have to have all these little pieces. And that is what we talk about in the Studio Accelerator Bootcamp. So y'all, it's so good. So right now, Adam, we have like a minute or two. Adam was so great because he was like, hey, if anyone has this question, like, drop it. I will answer the question. So does anyone does anyone have a specific question about SEO that you're struggling with, that you need a little support in? We're here for it. I know right now you might be taking in all this information going, I don't know what I don't know. And so I want you guys to know that, of course, Adam, him and I work really well together. And so if you need more support, if you want us to dive into your websites, looking at those sort of things, we drop it below, let us know, message me. Adam, we'll get you connected with Adam as well. And so we can make sure that you guys get the support that you need. But what I will tell you is that Google, going back to, we joke in our house, my daughter calls it the Google. The Google. The Google. It is so important, and we need to make sure that we're following along in the trends and staying current and updated. And I get a lot of people asking about Google Ads and things of that nature. And I'm like, I wouldn't go into Google Ads unless you have this other piece taken care of. Right?
100%.
Right? So
fastest way to spend money.
Right, exactly. I'm like, I might as well stick it in a slot machine in
Yeah,
Vegas and
absolutely.
and know or buy a lottery ticket. No, I'm not going to get any of that. So yes, I agree with you. It's one of the fastest ways to just, I hate to say it, throw away money, but really,
Mm,
I think that it's imperative that we get our SEO piece, we get our website, our ducks in a row, knowing what your goal is for this ad or for it before you're, and then
yeah.
how are we fulfilling it, going reverse engineering. So
Mm,
many times I see studio owners are like, they're throwing money at
mm.
Google ads, or actually not enough of them are doing Google ads, but Google ads, or throwing their money at Facebook ads or whatever, and come back and say, oh, they just don't work. Well, they
Mm,
do work, actually.
yeah.
They do work. But it's a matter of getting the back end taken care of. It's a matter of getting the SEO taken care of. It's a matter of getting the your systems in place, because
Mm,
you can have a lot of the big puzzle pieces, but if you're missing this one in the middle, it's
mm.
not going to complete, right? Like if you're missing this one thing, it's like, oh, but I did all these little pieces. Yeah, but you're missing this big chunk right here. Your puzzle will never be complete and you won't have the results that you want. So they're very quiet, Adam. No one is asking any questions about SEO, which is okay. Sometimes we have to
Don't
talk.
worry.
Don't worry. Again, like I said, if you come back in on the replay and you do have a question, drop it in
Yeah.
here. Or after you leave here and you go and you're like, I'm gonna go ahead and look up my and you're like, okay, I have a question. I need some support. We're here to support you guys. Know
Yeah.
that. So I want to get you guys connected. We'll come back in. We'll go ahead and put information if you where to find Adam, how to connect with him. I thank you. We could go on and on and on because there are
Absolutely.
many, many more things to SEO, but I also want to respect your time, our viewers' time. We absolutely adore everyone who comes on, and I'm so grateful that we connected and that we've been able to really look in. Our goal is to really see studio owners thrive across the board,
Absolutely.
and knowing that, hey, I'll tell you, I'm not a website designer. That is not my jam. I would much
Mm.
rather use my time, right, to be here with you guys and to right, and to be able to show up inside of our groups. Okay. Oh, here's a question real quick. You
Yeah.
mentioned hidden pages on your website. Is that where you add a
Yeah.
lot of keywording?
Yeah, so basically, this technique comes back to being able to. It's not about cramming keywords into a page. It's just because you have so many characters that you can use in a title and a meta description, for instance. So if you really want it to go to the extreme, so take a typical dance studio. Obviously, you have a lot of genres of dance. You have different areas. So theoretically, if you had a page about a certain age range of classes, you could only put a couple of genres into the title tag, for instance. So a technique would be to have a page, for instance, just about ballet, for instance, and then you could have ballet classes, ballet dance studio, and then your area. So you're focusing just on that, and then the content would be relatable to it. And when the user searches for ballet in the area or ballet dance studio, your page will come up. Obviously, you don't want to be putting these pages into the navigation simply because there'd be so many of them, everyone would get confused, and you definitely don't want to do that. But having them in, as long as it's a physical page, especially on things like WordPress and other engines like that, it's in the sitemap. So Google uses the sitemap to navigate your website, not your navigation bar. So it'll still find it, it'll still index it, and it's a great way to include extra things into your website without cramming them into all your pages and diluting what you're currently doing.
Absolutely. And it goes back to that idea of one audience, right? So
Yeah.
if they're searching something like popping and locking and they come to your blog, that's, and then once they're there and they're reading, they're like, oh, well, I can navigate from the toolbar, or I can navigate to what is the about page, and like, let me learn
Mm.
more about them, or right. So you can have those sort of things. Yes, you're welcome. So
No problem.
this is something that you could absolutely do. And it's okay. We just want to make sure, yes, that on your, I'm going to call it your main website, which probably isn't right,
Yeah.
but on your website, that please, if there's something that I could share, and Adam, I don't know if you agree with me, please stop having word vomit. You don't need to tell
Yes.
them everything.
Yes. That's the biggest thing in every industry. Every industry.
Is I'm
Yeah.
like, less is more. I know sometimes we feel like, oh, but if we put it all out there, then they'll stop calling me and asking questions or they're whatever. No, we want them to call you and ask questions. We want we want them to feel like, okay, they got enough to make the decision to call or to book a trial or to do whatever, but you don't have to give them all your terms and conditions. You don't have to give
No.
them, I know there's a hot button topic about, oh, do I put my tuition rates up or do I not? You don't have to. Right? Like, you don't have to do that. There are better ways and space, but just think about it. Sometimes as an end consumer, if you're going to a site because you want to find out something and you're like, gosh, I have to go through all this stuff and I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and I'm still not actually seeing what I need. And then I'm like, that's too much. I'm not reading. I'm going to the next thing. Right? So, please, y'all, my ending tip is stop having word vomit. Oh, that's my ending tip. Oh my goodness gracious. So thank you, Adam, so much for coming on and sharing
No
with us.
problem.
I think that
It's been my pleasure.
were absolutely amazing tips. You guys, if you're coming back in on the replay and you want to get these in the show notes, drop the word SEO. That way you can have them in a printed form in front of you. You have that, you have the show, and then you can dive into really auditing your own website and your own SEO plan and seeing what it is that you are doing that maybe you could tweak a little bit and improve on. And if you need the support, absolutely let us know. And my friends, if you have questions about the Studio Accelerator Bootcamp, just shoot me a quick message and we can chat about it if it is the right fit for you. I'm going to leave you there. I hope, my friends, that you guys have a fantastic week. I will see you next week for same time, same place for another episode of the Erin Bird Live Show. I'm going to see you there. Have fun. Bye, friends.
Bye-bye.
Bye.